Hello, my fellow Alaskans. Starting this one out just a little bit early because it looks like we got one hell of a crowd here. The entire parking lot is packed from end to end. Thanks to having to actually make a living, I'm here a little late.
I believe our kids have the right to in-person education in the classrooms that we pay. And I believe in belief.
Yes! Absolutely!
I believe the solution to our vagrancy problem is more than a homeless issue.
Right.
And whether one is homeless or not, no one has the right to defecate on the streets of our city.
That's right! Yes!
So I've decided to do my part. I've decided to work with you to pull our city back from the brink. Yeah. Let's clean up our city. Let's turn on our open for business signs, and let's... My name is Dave Bronson, and I'm here to work for you. Together we will put Anchorage on the path of safety, prosperity, and liberty. Thank you very much. And also, it is hard, and I promise to buy those 4 properties, I will work twice as hard to sell them.
Sorry for the spotty connection. There's no reason for it. It keeps disconnecting here. I'm at full bars and everything else. Dave Bronson just announced his, for the second time that he's running for mayor of Alaska in Anchorage. To get rid of these far left assembly members and clean up our streets, stop the bad ordinances that they keep trying to pass.
Hey, call me up if you want to go somewhere. Oh, okay. Yeah, he used to be the lieutenant governor.
If you're just tuning in, don't forget to share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't share.
Realize things and life will be good. So, but yeah, how much does it pay?
I wish more.
You got 401k?
Of course, you always got to have the
It's too bad. This is my daughter, Maddie. So she was barbecuing with us last week. One of this great mix of people from all over the background.
No peace! Police! No peace! Police! No peace! Police! No racist! No justice! No racist! No justice! No racist!
My homie and I went right over here.
Good job, brother.
Back the blue. 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 Black the blue. Black the blue. Back the blue. Back the blue.
All lives matter. All lives matter. Black 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 lives blue. Black lives blue. All black lives blue. 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 Black lives blue.
forget to share. Last can see to see what's happening here at the Lusac Library in Anchorage. These folks seem to think that disbanding our police, dismantling them will fix all of their problems. These folks over here believe, all of these folks, believe in supporting and backing the blue, and these couple of dozen believe that no police should be involved in our daily lives, that instead of all lives mattering, only certain lives matter than most. And there's the leader of the group right there in the red hair.
That's what we're doing. We're breathing hard for the police. Blue lives matter. Black lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. Your 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 lives matter. Your lives matter. Your lives matter. All lives matter.
Are they saying Black Lives Murder? Black Lives Murder? That's what I'm hearing over there. They kill more of their own people than anybody else in the world. Why is that?
You're killing yourselves. You're killing each other.
So why haven't you left yet?
We have justice when we have the police. We have justice when we have the police. We have justice when we have the
I'm a doing. You do? How's it going? Just trying to stay out of trouble. I got it made for me. In fact, I'll be selling them here real soon. Well, this is Make Alaska Great Again.
I'm gonna probably walk for Nathan. I'm gonna
Oh no. Oh yeah, I did. I'm born and raised Alaskan. I mean, there's this is what you call a farmer's tent. I work for a living outside. Kevin McCabe here. It's focused. It's in there. Awesome. So we got a couple of mayoral candidates here that are campaigning already for the April election. Nice to see at least a couple of conservative options showing up onto the table now. The mayor and assembly are trying to pass an ordinance today that basically says if your child thinks they're a potato, you're not allowed to get them any help. And if you do try to get them help for being a potato, they will come in and take your child away from you. It could be your neighbor, it could be your teacher, it could be anybody. If anybody thinks that your child is a potato besides you, and you try to get them help, they'll just come and take your child away. I wish I was joking. We've also got the Back the Blue rally going on here, and then also the ones that think that defunding the police and calling everybody racist is a good part of their life.
Yep, that's what they're talking about, folks. They're talking about our assembly.
Don't forget to like and share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't. Alaskans need to see what's going on here at the Lusac Library today with the mayor and assembly about ready to talk about conversion therapy is what they're calling the new ordinance. Like I just said a minute ago, if you are trying to get your child help for thinking themselves as being a potato, that will now be an illegal offense. Your teacher, your neighbor, anybody who doesn't agree with you but agrees that your child is a potato, they can come and take your child away from you. These folks here want to defund the police, call everybody racist every time they turn around just because they don't believe the same thing that they do. They think only certain lives matter, not all lives matter. But who do you think they'll call when they someone's in their neighborhood shooting it up or stealing their vehicle? They're going to go out and do their own civil justice and go and take their vehicle back? Makes me wonder.
Soros hasn't paid me yet, I can.
Blue lives matter! Blue lives matter! Blue lives matter! Blue lives matter!
Blue lives matter. 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 Statistically, if you were to go and look at the populations around the world, around the United States anyways, and if you look at the minority, what they classify as a minority population, Alaska doesn't have a Black Lives Matter. It has an Alaska Native lives that matter. If you look at who's statistically thrown in our jails more often than not, it is Alaska Natives. Now, why is that? Why are they 3-to-1 to be locked up compared to anybody else in the state of Alaska, yet they only make up 15% if you go with Alaska Natives, 25% if you go include all of the indigenous tribes of the American Indians throughout the United States?
He's not very one it out.
Because you're not fighting.
The Blue Lives Matter have now surrounded the, I don't know what you want to call them. I have a hard time saying that they're the Black Lives Matter, because obviously that would mean they actually care about all lives. But they keep calling us fascists and racists and telling us all that we got to go. Last time I checked, we were all human beings. Should be treated as one. Good. How you doing?
What am I going to do?
I'm shooting myself right now. My kid took the umbrella out of the house. Or out of the truck.
Well, you gotta understand.
Don't matter to me.
Would it actually help you or not?
And it'll probably save my equipment from getting drunk.
Really? Okay, I'll go get it. It's kind of heavy though. You want me to get it?
I won't say no.
Okay.
Well, how big? I mean, is it like that or? It's a big. Never mind then. Yeah. In case you just missed that, there's the real virus in Anchorage, right there.
I like your shirt. You see Neil? Niall? Yeah. Not in a while, in a few minutes. He's going to try to sneak in.
You know what's really interesting, if I could figure out how to paste a fake news story saying that an assemblywoman was out here.
In the back here, we got two mayoral candidates that are running for office. We got Dave Bronson and Robin Meyer. Two alternative conservative choices compared to the very, very extreme far left that they have out there in the other direction. I'm always having fun. It's almost wondering if I was going to make it or not. That's what happens when you actually work for a living and this is not your full-time job. This is just more or less a hobby that costs a hell of a lot to do. Dedicate days and hours and months and years of my time to keep Alaskans informed on all what of the latest is going on.
So he did. The only thing he did. Not
Oh, Antifa has grown. They're now up to about 3 dozen people standing back there. I'm really shocked considering they don't think all lives matter. That more of them weren't aborted. Did I just say that out loud? Stephen Duplantis out here. Stephen Duplantis. Kevin McCabe I bumped into earlier. Seen Bernadette Wilson here. I think it's Wilson. I know the first name's Bernadette.
Spread out a little bit. Yeah, you want to people.
Why would you say that?
Has nothing to do with here, like, to last. And we don't like
There's just one way to look at things. If you haven't noticed, they've completely went on out, spread themselves thin throughout the crowd, make themselves look bigger and bigger by the second. Can't believe how many people think it's all right to defund the police, to leave themselves unprotected.
Any of the struggle that we do, we're on the 9/11. We need to respect that, and then we need to honor that, and we need to work to make sure that I'll take it the reparations that they deserve. So thank you for being here. Which is a limitation on the use of force by police. So, the thing about AL 2020 is that it's only police department part. It takes it out of the hands of the police and puts it into a civilian democratic institution.
If you guys would grow up, they wouldn't have to use force. Back the blue!
Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! Back the blue! No! Back the
back up. Sir.
Please leave with your non-mask.
Yeah, if you're not wearing a mask. Read the Constitution. You don't know how to read. Read the Bill of Rights.
For you, my friend, will trump for your freedom to live. I don't have to think the struggle to believe. God wants get down on your knees. Stop wanting to go. Lord, I promise to
Notice I was doing nothing more than minding my own peace, walking around with my camera like I normally do, and just about every single Black Lives Matter person there had to come and bump up against me, push me around, tell me to quit filming, all that other good stuff. They just don't like it when people put them on film. It is. Of course it is.
James.
Of course it is.
Brother James.
I've kind of been there, done that. Dave Bronson here in front of us, running for mayor.
See you later.
How many people want to make a bet that I'm going to find my face all over the Black Lives Matter page today as they try to dox who I am? Again.
And it will be an indictment by the people, not of a kangaroo court to sue.
See, you can notice by the free-loving Americans that are around here, there's lots of open space to walk around. They don't block access like they're doing over there on the other side.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're supposed to be here about public corruption and the new ordinance that was being passed to take your child away from you if you think that your child is not a potato. New ordinances that'll hamstring our police department, making it more dangerous for the men and women out there in blue, more likely for them to lose their lives.
Take our freedom to run us around. We keep pushing back, they need a hammer down. Not good anymore, we're on to their game. No longer a secret.
Chambers.
Can they use any more make 36?
All the mayoral candidates over there. Robin Myers, Dave Bronson. The anti-everything, anti-life group. Then why do you keep killing yourselves?
Each other.
Of course, that's kind of a sad thing to say when there's only maybe 2 people over there that even qualify for this march that they got going on here. And never forget the guy with the red hair back there. He is the leader of the organization. Oh, time to go meet and greet the assembly coming in the door. Or hear from sane people, something along those lines. The reason why we're really here is not them. As you can see, the patriot-loving Alaskans are heading out towards the street right now.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I got you, man. America.
And those that want to dismantle and destroy America are still sitting over there chanting to themselves. Don't be surprised when they finally come over. I know, we should all start saying Kumbaya, my Lord. Oh, how about my old-time favorite? Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. What a wonderful feeling, what a wonderful day. There's plenty of liquid sunshine heading our way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Don't forget to share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't share. Alaska patriotic citizens are here today to back the blue, to try to stop the assembly from passing ordinances that will say that you cannot tell your child they are not a potato. If your child thinks they are a potato and you take them someplace to help them out, to try to help them with their confusion that they are not a potato, the new ordinance that they want to pass by the assembly out there says that your neighbor, your teacher, they themselves can come and take your child away from you. All because you don't believe your child is a potato. I always liked the potato analogy just because that was one that was given to me by my child. I believe in equal and free rights for every Alaskan. Every Alaskan should be treated equally and the same, no matter who or what they are, or how many different flavors of a potato they think they may be. People are now heading over from the other side over there, slowly heading this direction. Hello.
My favorite sign ever.
Oh, sorry.
Tagging if we have to. Oh, we got it on video now. That's incriminating.
Hello. All right, we're at the beginning of the line over here. I'm just absolutely amazed how many people showed up on this miserable raining day. But just like the song I was singing just a little bit ago, you know, nothing like a little bit of liquid sunshine to brighten the day. Don't forget to like and share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't. Well, have you heard, you know, one of my favorite places to go to, which is the Perfect Cup in the Diamond Center, 22 years in business, and they have officially closed their door, bankrupt. The Diamond Center has padlocked their doors, won't allow them to go back into their business. They've already had the place raided by other employees, so to speak, and other people inside of the building, still in recipe books and other items from the store. They are inside the mall. They need at least 500 customers a day to be able to keep in business. Thanks to the mayor's mandates, their 22-year-old business is no more. Worst part is they are also one of my customers. Somebody that I count on to bring me work every year so that I can pay my bills. It's up on Facebook Live right now, and it'll go up on YouTube whenever I can find the chance. And
nice. Well, we support Blue Lives Matter and dropping AO 65. Boom! Recall the mayor, Mayor Berkowitz. Chairman Mao Berkowitz, more like. What's the communists do? What do they do? Oh, it's that fist in the air. Well, I got a fist for you, Chairman Berkowitz. Don't get too close to me.
You heard it live there. Everybody that's out here right now stands and thinking of the exact same thing. Walked into one too many perfume clouds today. We are live in Anchorage at the Lusac Library. In case you're in the area and want to come on down, I do recommend bringing an umbrella or at least a raincoat with yourselves. I went to go grab my umbrella and found my kid had already stolen it out of the back of the truck and didn't bother to let me know. So if you all of a sudden can't hear my voice or hear anybody else anymore, just let me know. That means I've fried my microphone because it got so wet. But since I keep seeing thumbs up out there, it sounds like people are still hearing me. Those that are running for mayor and all their little counterparts are still sitting over there in the parking lot at the Lusac Library itself. The group that seems to think that police just don't matter is still hiding over there too. Which I don't think there's a single complaint by anybody that's standing out here letting the city of Anchorage know what they think of our mayor and these ordinances that they're trying to pass. Oh, no worries.
Trying to get the attention of the assembly.
The mayor and assembly, once again, breaking the laws, refused to let any of us citizens into the meeting that they are currently having, trying to pass ordinances that will hamstring our police department, making their jobs more dangerous, and in the end will probably ultimately cost our men and women in blue their lives. They're also trying to pass ordinances that if you were to say your child is not a potato, and they think they're a potato, and you try to get them help because they think they are a potato, they will come and take your child away from you because that child thinks they are a potato. Your teacher could turn you in. Your neighbor can turn you in. This new ordinance that they want to pass does not discriminate whatsoever other than against the parent who believes that their child is not a potato. No to the potato ordinance. Correct. If we had a police department that was worth anything, that is exactly what would be happening right now. Well, this is where we need to start seeing about getting sheriffs in the state of Alaska. Because a sheriff would be independent of them and could go and arrest the mayor and the assembly for what they are illegally doing right now. Don't forget to like and share, folks. I'm out here in the pouring down rain. These folks are out here in the pouring down rain. We're out here protecting all of our Alaskan rights that our mayor and assembly believe we should not have. I'm expecting to show up on every far left page after today. Them all wanting to share my picture, saying, who is this guy? We want to go find out where he lives and go campaign out in front of his door.
Yeah, that's called terrorism.
Well, they said Dermot Troll's page actually has tried to dox me already. So it's just outrageous. If only our mayor and assembly would get the message. This is only about half of the crowd that's actually out here tonight. The other half is still in front of the Lusac Library, where they got two people running for mayor. You got Bronson and Myers. Or excuse me, Bronson and Robbins. Got too many races running through my head right now. Woo! big drop there from where I was. Kind of curious what's going on over in the front of the building still.
He said you were rioting. It's like, come on. He ain't got the balls to come out here. He's a punk.
I'm going to walk the line one more time, then going to go back around the front of the building there just to see what's going on. Those who think all lives don't matter. Two mayoral candidates that are running for office to eliminate the far left assembly and mayor. Bring some sanity back to Anchorage once again. The mayor and assembly have locked all of their constituents out of this meeting once again today, illegally doing what they are doing. Calling anybody that doesn't believe in what they are doing as being racist. Trying to pass a new ordinance that says that if you don't believe your child is a potato, then they will allow them to come and take your child away from you because you don't like that flavor of potato that you have.
Not in our town. You hear that? Berkowitz, not in our town.
Anything that takes more of our rights away, I am 100% against. Anything that puts our men and women in danger, I am completely against.
It's like the quickest transition to communism you've ever seen in the world. And you have
People are out there circling the parking lots now. All right, I'm going to go and head back over to the front of the building just for a little bit. I'm curious to see how many of those anti-Alaskan, anti-police, anti-American valued people are still there or not. Turned into just a little drizzle now compared to the downpour it started out as when I got here. I do see some blue skies in the horizon over there. Woo! We're here at the Lusac Library today. There's several different things going on. We got the Back to Blue rally for the ordinances they're trying to pass that will hamstring our APD police department, giving more rights to the criminal than our police department has, more rights than us average everyday citizens have, to where potentially and ultimately in the end, it's going to cost our men and women in blue their lives.
This guy owns it, and I haven't talked to him personally, and I want to talk to him.
Then you have the second ordinance that they're trying to pass, that if you don't believe that your child is a potato, and you want to get help for your child because they think they are a potato, and you go and try to change their mind that they are not a Lay's potato chip, or a potato, your neighbor, your school teacher, your local police department, you name it, can come in and tell these folks that you don't think your child is a potato, and you took them to go get help for their potato issue, and they will come and take your child away from you once and for all so that they are no longer a part of your life. until you are convinced, they are convinced, that you now believe your child is a potato. So we're almost back to the front of the Lusac Library here, where they've got two mayoral candidates that are running that have made their formal announcements literally out here in the pouring down rain earlier today.
I'm licensed to conceal carry. You don't need a license. You've just been miseducated, that's all. I don't agree, because I've educated myself. I think and even she's fighting there. She's got a strong not allow it to happen. So you continue to talk and you don't stop talking.
That's what I asked
The I don't know what we are group, but we're here because we just don't know what we are. And who are they going to call? Ghostbusters! Me, I'm going to call the blue.
A lot of us went to 36, but some of us, I guess, should stay here too.
Then there's about 50 people out on the road right now.
I just came from there, but I figured we got divvied up.
Yeah, about half of the group went out to the road, the other half stayed here.
I guess there's nothing really changing here.
I mean, what's the point of this anti-stuff when there's more positive things that need to be dealt with right now?
Yeah, it's positive.
Got Robbins here for mayor. There is Robbins himself.
There you go.
That's the ordinance number right there that says that if your child thinks they're a potato, your neighbor can turn you in if you try to go get help for their potato issue. Just another overreaching, taking away our parental rights to keep pushing an agenda that completely continues to separate us as a society, dividing us all. This is Dave Bronson. He was speaking earlier at the very beginning of the video here. He's running also for mayor of Anchorage. He seems to have quite a bit of support running in his corner right now. All those that are for sanity, or besides just a handful, are all sitting out at the main road out there, getting horn honks and letting the people of Anchorage know what's going on here at the library. And notice that the only people that have any support when it comes towards the mayor and the assembly and their ordinances is Antifa. They came out in droves today. Look at them all. It is just absolutely amazing. Well, Patriots of America are also here. Bend over, sweetie. Always love how they always try to cover their faces whenever you get close to them, or try to cover the camera. As you can tell, anybody that's part of the ANTIFA group here, they're all way too young to even know what communism is, what true socialism is, which is what they are continuously fighting for. Bet you not a single one of them even know who Legend is. Do you know who Legend is? Legend? The 4-year-old little black boy that was shot in front of his house riding his bicycle? Do you know who that Legend is? Oh, well, you know, if you take the diaper off the front of your face, you might be able to hear something. As you notice, I make no sense. Do any of you guys know who Legend is? Any of you? Who is it? He's a 4-year-old little boy that was riding his bike in front of his house. No, Legend was killed by a black man, a 4-year-old little boy was innocently riding his bike outside. Well, no, that person's behind bars. Yep, and so is every single bad police officer that's been arrested too. See, you know what's sad is they all know all of these names, and that don't belong to any of the truly innocent people of the world.
Take an edible, whatever it takes these days. Do your little CBD. Light some incense.
Exactly. Who is Legend?
Like, just a thrill. Yeah. Like, I get off the plane and it's just desperate shit. But people, they have no idea how good they are.
It's funny how it's all.
It's a little document. But it's all documents and everything that's given to them. They're just told.
I'm not yelling today, huh?
When you put back to it,
all lives matter.
Get agitated.
It's a good video.
Unless it's a killing another black man.
Black lives matter. Black
a 4-year-old little boy. Unless it's somebody that overdoses on fentanyl and dies.
All Black Lives Matter. 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 Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
All lives matter.
Black Lives Matter. All of us?
So it's kind of cool.
Right, so you agree.
Yeah. BLM. It's been a great evening we're here. Jamie Allard is
Right, black people deserve to be back too.
oh, that's me. There's one thing that I like. It's watching the American flag wave. I can sit on my porch for hours and watch that flag wave at night. Anyway, this is the door over here. So there was an opportunity for us to try to go inside. Guard just said, doing her job, you know. And this is somebody famous, I hear, right?
I'm Politidick.
Politidick, right on. Well, I'm Mike Robbins.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you. So we're live on our Facebook page. You live?
I've been live since the moment I got here.
Well, I didn't see anything bad, did I?
No, not that I'm aware of.
That's great. That's great. Right on.
But the crowd that I keep walking through sure doesn't like me very much.
Happy, are they?
They for some reason think, you know, they're not.
I don't want to say anything about their music. But anyway, so thanks for coming down and everything you do.
You too.
So it's pretty nice to see
That was the up-and-coming person that has just put his name in the hat to become mayor of Anchorage.
These homophobes have got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. These homophobes have got to go. Oh, my God. Are they telling themselves to get lost? I hope so.
Bisexual daughter.
Well, I've never seen a bigger bunch of people that spill hate in my entire life. Constant and consistent. You know, fuck the police. Homophobes have got to go. Rah, rah. We're Antifa.
And that's fine, yeah.
I'm not going to impose my thing on you.
But they're being hypocritical about it, you know. So.
Of course they are.
He's the reason you're all here.
Oh, wow! Oh, wow, dude, really?
It's kind of funny when you got people like her, or you are her. I don't mean to misgender you if you're not.
Calm down. You got anger in your eyes. Stop that.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too.
Sucking you down.
That still doesn't clear up for me why it makes me a racist. You didn't. Why am I a racist? No, he did. And he was. Yeah, of course. Yes.
Police are built on white supremacy.
All about blue, but that's not because
Police
I want
enforce
to know
white
why you call
supremacy.
me a racist for supporting law enforcement.
Really? Can you explain to me how they're based on white supremacy? Give me some examples.
So when this country started back when slavery existed in this country, they had slave patrols. You know those little like 6 diamond points that sheriff badges have? Those are the first original designs for slave patrols.
Are you talking about the Jewish people who had to put the gold star on during the Nazi era when Hitler was running around trying to put everybody in cages and gas chambers and kill them all? Where Antifa actually came from, you know, the original start of the group, you know, the anti-fascists that were against socialism at one point, but now embrace socialism? Are you a Marxist? You're a Marxist and Leninist. It is such a shame that you are so young that you do not know your history. You're trying to tell me it's a good thing?
Hey, the thing is, you don't actually care about learning like what's wrong. You just want to agitate.
I was just asking a question. I'm here to seek to understand how it makes me a racist. I'm not a racist, and by supporting it makes me a racist. I want to understand why we can make these big generalized statements, all this and all that. I feel like the definition of racism has not been I don't feel like supporting someone based on the politics and that used to be the definition of racism.
No, it's not what racism is. Okay, using a dictionary is like...
Using a dictionary is like what?
Not accurate. Because if you're using a Merriam-Webster dictionary, you realize that dictionary is created in the 1800s to discriminate against black people. Originally, they designed language.
They revised the dictionary every year. So you're born in the 1800s?
You realize Merriam-Webster dictionary hasn't been around that long, right? The Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Well, I got to step away from this. It shows the true lack of intelligence that's behind this crowd here. Hey, K-Bear, I feel the same way. That's why I walked away. You can only listen to people that have no intelligence whatsoever for just so long. That right there is Bronson, who's running for mayor.
Somehow the other guy didn't do anything. He did nothing. We had like he could have won. I remember when I was like, you're on the docket already.
Got Robbins here, who is running for mayor. That gentleman right there. We had a brief little talk with him in front of the doors over there just a few minutes ago.
So far, you're not getting to see.
That's just proof that they want to drag it out and drag it out and drag it out.
Hey, hey, hey ho, they are brainless and got to go. Hey, hey, hey ho, they are brainless and got to go.
I don't know if I would.
My name is Scott. I'm a media volunteer
As you can see, the gated off front entrance into the assembly chambers up ahead, where they are illegally holding a meeting that they have not allowed the constituents of Anchorage to be able to come in there and voice their opinions about the ordinances and laws that they are trying to pass inside there right now. They are trying to make it so that if your child thinks they are a potato and you try to go get help for your child before they become a Lay's potato chip, that your teacher, your neighbor, they themselves can come and take your child away from you if this is passed. All because your child thinks they are a potato.
Pardon, sir. Go back and get one of those bumper stickers. Are you selling them?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. They're pretty
If I do chip that has in my mask that stands my bad breath.
See, they're not after any sort of civil discourse. They are more than happy to just step up in front of your face.
Who knows what they're going to regulate? I want to make sure that this doesn't happen. So,
They've gotten in mine more than once today. I still want to know, do they know who Legend Johnson is? Not a single person here. Not a single one knows who Legend is. The 4-year-old little boy that was shot and killed riding his bicycle in front of his house. They don't want to know who that is because it just shows the hypocrisy behind what their movement is all about. All started over hands up.
They do. I was getting you with my friend.
I'm asking if
I do treat people as individuals.
So here's the thing: when you say 50%
Most
of
of
the
my
black
friends
people,
are minorities.
Okay, and that's fine. Okay, I don't know how you do
White
that in
people don't
Alaska.
tend to like me.
I can see why. So I just. What are you referring to?
Your social education, not your I read a book education. I've been to college too, went to a really good one. Great. When I went, not the Baseball. When BLM first came out, it was a legitimate pitch. I get that. When you start tearing down things, burning things, destroying people's lives because you think you've been oppressed, what did you just do to them?
So you don't know something? I was here 2 weeks ago at the Open Alaska protest, and I came again to the Open Alaska protest. So I came over here and started walking, trying to make me realize that we're all neighbors, okay? And you said something that I just wanted to comment on. You said 50% of the black people commit the crimes. What about the other 50%?
Okay. 50%. Yep. No, it could be a large number. Sir, where did you get your statistics?
Well, in Alaska, it's 3 to 1. It's the Alaska Natives that commit the crimes, not the black people here. The Alaska Native people in Alaska, 3 to 1, are locked up more than any other race here in the state. Why is that? Who is Legend? Do you still not know who Legend is?
That's a great question. We should definitely ask why.
That is a great question. Too bad you don't know the answers to those great questions. I do know the answer to those great questions because I'm an educated person that's taken the time to research what the actual statistics are. He was 4 years old.
He doesn't deserve to die. You're right.
So where are you putting out his name in days like today? He did it. That 4-year-old got justice. Is he alive today? Is he still riding his bicycle? There was no justice there. So as with George Floyd, you know, I'm sure you guys have all seen the scene from the moment that his knee is on his neck on. But have you actually watched the video where they were showing him being put into the police vehicle? Asking for his mother that's been dead for 2 years, saying, I can't breathe, over and over again, begging the police to put him down onto the ground. And then when they do what he said, he kicks them. Man, I feel so sorry for you. Did you also know that the toxicology report that came out said that he had 3 to 4 times the lethal dosage of fentanyl in his system? That's not what killed him. Coroner's report even says so. That's not what killed him.
Actually, it does.
Yeah, you need to learn your facts and go and actually look at the coroner's report. Watch the video from start to finish. Don't cherry pick your little 5 seconds of fame and try to say you know what you're doing and you're standing up for what matters.
Because you're not.
All lives matter. Whether it be in the womb or it be born, no matter what color or race they are.
How come she was wanted? She was wanted, though. She did not surrender. She did not surrender. Get the facts. Get the facts. Get the facts.
So why was there a warrant for a no-knock warrant given to go right into that house for a drug dealer for...
They went to the wrong house. They made a car door. Apparently, we have this budget and they don't know how to read. That's crazy. It's almost a basic secretary is more functional at the basic duties of the top than a cop almost. Because half the job is knowing, right? Is it not?
So why is it that 50% or more of crime that is happening in the lower 48 in the communities of people dying are black on black death? And why don't you ever, if Black Lives Mattered, why aren't you up in arms every single day?
Why aren't you in Chicago?
Going against and saying, why are you killing each other?
Here's the difference, because when a black dude in Alaska is standing there, he has nothing to do with some black dude in San Diego or wherever it is. Just because they got the same...
So that person in San Diego's life doesn't matter anymore to you because he's somewhere else?
Cops, they all sign up and swear an oath to enforce it. And I'm not even over here blaming the cops, okay? It's a corrupt system, okay? Why don't you ask, why are we issuing no-knock warrants for drugs when it hasn't stopped? The drug war hasn't stopped.
Well, that's because you guys leave the borders open. I mean, you keep it allowed.
What do you mean, you guys?
You guys.
The damn wall up is going to stop drugs from getting in Alaska? Somehow they can hook it on a caribou through fucking Canada? But they won't be able to get through.
No, they just shoved it up your ass and let you mule it in.
I mean, aren't you?
You think a law will fix it?
It'll certainly slow it down.
Well, then you better find a candidate who'll actually build one, because Trump ain't doing shit.
Oh, excuse me. He's built more walls. Yeah, he's He's built more walls than the
and we're still having no-knock warrants. So why not just repeal the drug laws? Why don't you put, you can't.
Yes, let's make us an Amsterdam. I agree with that 100%. Let's legalize every single drug that's out there. Let's tax the legal shit out of it. Let's build ourselves our rehabilitation centers, drug treatment centers. Let's make it so that every American can have free choice of whatever drug they like, and when they're ready to go and get help, they can go get help. There's actually something here I agree with you on.
So here's the thing, is we got two groups of people shouting at each other, and I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah, you started it.
On record, so I'm not gonna pretend
You
like
kind of
I'm
started
not.
it.
But we agree on a lot, okay? And if we stop interrupting each other, let's ask some questions, okay?
Well, we agreed to a certain point. The minute you start saying that all lives don't matter, only individuals do.
Did I say that? Did you heard me say that?
Have I heard many of these people here say that? Yes, I have.
You heard me say that. That's the whole problem, is the collectivization.
Well, unfortunately, you're putting yourself in with these guys, so therefore you're just as blamed as them.
And there's a recording of it over here, me getting yelled at by these guys for not wearing a mask.
Well, you know what? You know what? It's hard to talk with a mask. That's why I don't wear one.
So why don't we Blue Lives Matter? Why are you making? Can we rally around that?
I'm all there.
And why should we have them? Why should we warn them that we're going to be knocking on their door so they can hide the drugs?
Well, we should repeal the drug laws. When you arrest a murderer, when you arrest a sexual predator, you can't arrest a sexual predator officially.
Answer a simple question. Why do we have no-knock warrants to begin with?
We have no-knock warrants, mainly 90% of them. And I'm not, you look it up. I don't know if that's accurate, but the majority of no-knock warrants are for serving drug convictions.
And why? And are they done? Why is specifically? Why is there no-knock warrants? Give me a couple of good reasons why. I'll name one. Drug criminals that sit there and are dealing the paraphernalia love to set up booby traps and weapons and stuff like that to blow people away if they know they're coming through the door by someone going knock, 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 knock.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
How many police have lost their lives before a no-knock warrants were actually issued?
Well, if we stop serving some of these warrants, the question is, why should they be serving warrants? If you think the drugs should be legal, shouldn't you be against the no-knock warrants when they're serving against the drugs?
Until the laws are changed, I follow the law. I'm not going to break the law. That seems to be what the platform here is. Break the law until it's convenient that laws get changed.
So you think it's okay for a drug dealer to find somebody underage, like 13, 14, drug them up and get them high, let's have a couple of drinks?
Sounds like a party in Mar-a-Lago to me.
Carl Bowie III stole my truck, brought my truck to my house, tried to run me over with my own truck, tried to run the cops over, and the cops
Oh, absolutely. This sign here says that I didn't support Clinton or Trump in 2016, and I'm not doing it again.
Wait.
It's not in your neighborhood, it's none of your business, but you're out here rallying all their names.
2017 by APD, and I don't give two shits or a fuck.
All right, if we're going to be against selling, what's your age cutoff? Because as soon as you turn 18,
Man, I tell you what.
airplane and send you to some country that most have never heard of.
Life is so exciting out here in Alaska. I only can sit there and argue with them for just so long. You keep hearing that, well, that person doesn't live in Alaska, what's your problem? Yet they sit there and spout off names of people that don't live in Alaska who have died. Half of the names that they're listing off there are drug dealers, convicted criminals, hardcore, very violent. They are confused. You ask them serious questions. You ask them anything that has to do with Alaska statistics, and they can't answer them. They don't know why Alaska Natives are locked up in our jails 3-1 over any other race here in our state. It doesn't match the norm. You go down to the lower 48, Seattle, Washington, Portland, places like that. They are locked up 3-1 down there. Black Lives Matter are. Why is black people locked up 3-1 when they're the minority of the race? Why is Alaskan Natives locked up 3-1 when they are the minority of the race here in Alaska? The statistics match because they're the ones perpetuating the most of the crimes.
Good question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Wasn't that funny, his response, though?
Myself, I'm just taking a small breather on the outside of the crowd here. I have been basically in the middle of things since the beginning of this. Just wanting to take a second to get out of the way. The rain out here has kind of definitely set the mood for what is going on here. It is a sad day in Alaska. It keeps us from here seeing our tears.
Have to be here.
Well, the easy answer, it's a free country. The correct answer is because they're uneducated and don't bother to even look at what the real facts are and want to believe everything CNN produces.
I never thought you would come here. I really didn't.
Not a single person that's part of the anti-group there is old enough to even know what communism is, never lived in a socialist society at all.
Can I ask you a question? You said that they're the ones perpetuating the crime. How is that so?
Well, what's being perpetuated is the statistics show that when you look at which part of the populations are causing the most crime out there, it statistically falls on the same type of people, and no matter what country you're in. We're all on stolen land. So pack yourself up and leave if you don't think you should be on stolen land.
You agree Mexican people are allowed to come here because they feel their country is...
Legally, I certainly do.
I have a question for you. If black people and native people, or whoever it is the problem, genuinely, don't you think that they've been propelled by systemic injustice to go to those means to resort
What?
to crime?
Their true inability to be able to lift themselves up out of poverty. They have no way to be able to go out and get a good job. They are held back from being able to go to universities or go to a school. Has any of this happened during your lifetime?
I'm so
None of this happened during your lifetime.
I completely guarantee that you will understand one day. Maybe when you're done.
Well, maybe when you get an education. If I wanted to live in a communist country, I'd go live in Russia as it used to be, or I'd go and live in China, or I'd go and join North Korea where you can't have any of this. You got to do what they're doing right now, they'd shoot you.
This guy's too hard to live with.
Say what?
Get an interview with her?
Well, I wouldn't call that an interview. I would call that someone trying to give me a very uneducated opinion.
Well, there's a whole lot of those around here.
There certainly is. That's why I take the time to make sure I keep myself well educated on the issues that are going on.
Right, right on. What's your favorite source?
Well, I don't have one. Honest with you. That's why I run my own media company, because I got tired of listening to the false fake news that's out there.
Is that what this is?
It is.
What's it called?
Politidic.
Politidic?
Yep, I'm a politidic.
Little dick.
I'm a political dick.
Yeah.
I go out and investigate what other people don't want you to see.
Okay.
Where's mainstream media in all of this? Where are they at today?
I saw some of them.
Yeah, they all ran inside the illegally running assembly meeting that they got going on inside the building. That's where mainstream media went.
I only saw one. She didn't look happy. I only saw one. She just ran in there. All right, little dick.
Yes, ignorance was bliss. I used to be an ignorant cuss. I didn't care to learn the truth. And then god dang that darn Donald Trump coming down that escalator that day, that's when I made the mistake and said, hell, it's going to be the best television show, a reality television show that's ever been produced, and it's not done by Hollywood. And I started paying attention.
So dirty. Couldn't keep the dust out. Rises up.
It's a fun crowd today. Doing good. I always love people that love our Second Amendment rights that we have in the state of Alaska. I tell you what.
No, there's nothing wrong with a hard hat and a hat.
Don't forget to like and share. Facebook does everything they can when it comes to anything to do with Back in the Blue, of squelching it so that it's not shareable. Making it reach as few people as possible.
Oh, during lunch. Okay.
I wanted to meet you.
Hey, I'm Dave.
Somebody has to
We're here today in Anchorage at the Lusac Library to complain about Dictator Mayor Ethan Berkowitz and the far left assembly that he is in control of, and their ordinance to say that if your child thinks they are a potato, that you cannot go and get help for your child who thinks that they are a potato, and that your neighbor, your teacher, or any of the above can come in and turn you in and have your child taken away from you because you do not believe they are a potato. You always got to love the libertarians when they come out, what they have, their message and have to say. We have been illegally locked out of the assembly chambers once again while they hold their meeting inside. Yes, that be the truth. This would normally be the entrance into the assembly chambers inside for the public to go into. You can see they have barricaded it off in their own fashion. Doors are locked behind. Nobody is allowed into the library. Nobody is allowed into the assembly chambers. It is a closed meeting to the public, even though this is supposed to be a public ordinance that they're trying to pass inside. Refusing to allow Alaskans our rights given to us under the statutes and laws and the ordinances that they have passed in our city, so that they can pass more ordinances in our city that's going to hamstring our police department, take away their rights, ultimately in the end costing more of our men and women in blue their lives, giving more rights to the criminal than what the actual law-abiding citizen has, just like the homeless in your private property. How high can you go? Man, you're so far below it, it's not even funny.
From the ground, we rise up. Can you get my face in your camera? I'm a diva super soldier.
You're a diva super soldier? Yeah. All right, you are a superstar now. You do that all on your own.
What are you doing that video for? Don't you have fans? You have fans only?
Yeah, like 4 fucking fans.
Hey, you have fans only? You have an only fans?
Man, I'm still waiting to try to get an intelligent conversation out of that particular crowd. It just never seems to happen yet. There are a couple that actually do have a brain in that group, but there are so far and few in between.
This other guy over here, he seems willing to just chat.
Most of them just want to get in front of the camera and block it, and try to keep people from actually seeing what they're doing, you know. Try to walk through the center of them, and they stand in front of you and try to block you, and then they say a whole bunch of stupid crap. And then when you ask them intelligent questions like who is Legend, they look at you and say, I don't know who that is. Or when they do know who it is, oh well, that's not in our state. Their lives doesn't matter. Only Alaskan lives matter. But then they start naming off people like Brianna and stuff like that, and George Floyd and all the other names, but I just got told by them that, you know, they don't matter because they don't live in Alaska. It just, the hypocrisy behind the statements and the constant backtracking and going forward, the hypocrisy behind what they have to say is just outrageous. It's hilarious. It's kind of stupidity. I mean, not a single one of the people that's in the anti-group that's over there was even alive when communism and socialism and all that other stuff was rampant trying to take over America the last time.
All they need to do is talk to a Cuban immigrant.
Exactly. Talk to a Cuban immigrant. They'll teach you right up that this is the most stupidest thing they've ever seen going on. One of the freest countries in the world to live in, and they feel oppressed. And I'm not talking about the Cubans. I'm talking about the ones that are out there wearing all the masks.
Rush Limbaugh says there's just something in their heads that makes them, you can't reason. They don't accept what we got told. They just don't accept the things that you're saying because you can't.
I was going to say you.
The first one, but
2 days later, they drug him into court.
So this is
Threatened to take his property, you know, shut off the power and everything. They were going to see. They're just going to file
Yeah, I think I'm going to go head back out to the street there where there's actually some sane people. A lot more sane people than what I'm seeing here. Carrying a "fuck the police" sign while she's showing every sign of what a capitalist looks like, someone that loves America and the freedom that we have. Doesn't know what it costs the people of America and our state, my father, his life, protecting our freedoms. Asked them if they've actually watched the entire video of what happened with George Floyd. That was hilarious. That's definitely going to be clippable on that one there. We have no idea that George Floyd said that. Why was he talking about his mother that had been dead for 2 years? Why did he constantly say, "I can't breathe," as they're trying to get him into the back of the police car? Why did he beg the police over and over and over again to put him down onto the ground? Why did he start kicking the police when they did put him down onto the ground after nearly 10 minutes trying to get him in the back of the police vehicle? Why did the coroner report that he had 3 to 4 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his system? What was that white tablet that he had on the end of his tongue that has been seen in the videos? Why was it with all those things with George Floyd that they just don't seem to want to answer over there in that crowd? Their answer to Legend, who passed away, the 4-year-old on his bicycle out in the front of his vehicle there, or his house riding his bicycle, their answer to that is oh, well, he was, his killer has been caught. Does that make his life any less important? Is that 4-year-old still out there riding his bicycle? You know, the one that survived heart surgery has already gone through insurmountable odds just to be alive? We're back out here in the street in front of the Lusac Library. It has been one drizzling, miserable day today. Kind of matches the mood of the crowd. Got the assembly and the mayor inside right now with all of mainstream media, the only people that they're going to allow in, and their own specialists. We got to make sure that pass these ordinances while he has his dictator-like powers under his emergency orders to be able to pass whatever he wants. All he needs is the assembly not to veto it in the end. And when you own 7 out of those 9 in the assembly, it's kind of hard for him not to have anything he doesn't want to get passed. My kind of hat. That's why I got. I did. But I like your side.
I was like, no. Gotta go like 10 blocks.
Oh, what a very long day. I'm just going to leave at this angle right here for just a minute. Looks like they got some good tasty food over here. I'm going to go see if I can get myself a
Everyone would like to say something.
It's always on. Go for it. Well, let me go back to a smaller angle. There we go.
My name is Sharon Kay. I have a bigger issue out there that's coming down the pipeline, and I want to let people know that the state of Alaska gets millions of dollars a year for human trafficked children, Alaskan children, OCS people. I wrote a letter to the President, Donald, his daughter, Pompeo, Madam Trump, Commissioner of DHS in Anchorage, and the Governor of Alaska, and hopefully I hear back a 6-page letter, and telling them that Nancy Schaefer, she's a former senator for Congress, she was murdered because she brought up the fact. And the bill that constitutes for them to traffic children was drafted up by none other than Hillary Clinton. Passed by her husband when he got in as president.
Is it better if I stand there and eat a hot dog?
We're going to start making that known to the public. Not only our state, but CPS and the lower 48 is doing the same thing. Millions of children, human trafficking.
How you doing, sir? Yeah, of course.
That's on atrocity. It's terrible. Thanks for letting me know.
Oh, no problem. Alaska has some of the most worst traffickers, human trafficking going on anywhere else.
Yeah.
Highest statistics with the smallest population.
Yeah. Tammy Wilson, she was fighting for it, you know. And then she became a legislator. And then we brought it forward with a group of us, people of Alaska group. We were bringing this out to them, and we talked to Adam and some other lawyers. I guess we put pressure on them enough for them to take Tammy out. She was an advocate for this. She said it years ago. So now she's in a position and now she's shut up.
Thank you. I'm already a follower of your page. People of Alaska, in case you guys didn't catch that, they are on Facebook. I've been following them now for almost a year.
Yeah.
So.
I think you're on my page now too.
Sharon K? And is that K-A-Y or?
I appreciate you.
CPS also has
I want to do your simulator.
Facebook page. Now, and I think Trump is now aware of it. There you go.
You want welding done? I would totally weld.
He's now
So
aware
much
of Asian chatter on there about it.
Gotta be like cops and robbers.
Yes.
Young people, these are young people. Holding signs, save our children, save our children. Like, if anybody knows, it's not in Hollywood. It's like twice the size. I cannot believe it. Wow, look at that. Save our children, save our children.
800,000 years old missing. We don't hear about it. That's terrible.
Well, they're waking the young people up in LA to Hollywood.
Time for it to stop.
It is.
Thanks.
Thank you.
If you want to get a copy of the letter, just message me on Facebook.
In case you weren't able to hear there, she was talking about human trafficking here in Alaska and the effort that they're trying to put together to put an end to it. We got some of the worst statistics, just like with our crime rates, our murder rates, our populations that are locked up within our jails. They don't want to know the truth of the matter. When you ask certain people out there, human trafficking is one of the worst things that happens in our state of Alaska here. President Trump has been made well aware of what is happening, and hopefully we'll be able to do something or at least send help our way. And we're down here at the Lusac Library right now. We are in front of the building out by the highway. We got a couple of dozen different supporters that are out here that are for Back in the Blue. They're also against the ordinance that they are trying to pass, where if your child thinks they are a potato and your neighbor does not believe you when you say that they are not a potato, they can come in and take your child away from you if they are to pass this ordinance. There is no more equal rights for all. It's all who in the minority will have whatever they can get for themselves. What new special right are they going to hand out to someone else that takes away your rights? We're also out here for the Back the Blue rally. Mayor and Assembly are trying to pass ordinances that are going to hamstring our police force, make their jobs more dangerous, ultimately cost the lives of the men and women in blue that walk that thin blue line every single day, protecting all of us. We got the anti-rally going on the other end of the library there, which I had to walk away from. Just got myself a hamburger from the barbecue they got set up out here. Really good food. Better than what I got at the other forum the other night. Go and walk the line one more time here. Hopefully you all heard about the Perfect Cup, which is found in the Diamond Center. 22 years they've been in business. They have declared bankruptcy. Diamond Center has gone in and padlocked their doors. They have not been in business since the coronavirus has hit. They have a $20,000 plus a month mortgage that they have to pay. Need at least 500 customers going through the Diamond Center on an every given day just to be able to make their bills. And they just couldn't survive this because the mayor, as soon as they said they could open back up, they had a choice, spend $5,000, put the money in to buy all the materials that gone to waste the last time they got closed down, just to have it all reclosed back down, fire all the employees that they just had to rehire, and told that you need to do outdoor service. Well, they're in the middle of the mall. Only way to get to them is to go through the mall.
What do I do? Just smile.
All right, I think I'm going to go and try to brave that crowd up in front once again. See how many of the lunatics are still running the asylum up front. Now that I'm leaving the sanity behind. That's our young libertarian candidate running right there.
Hey, I want to apologize for yelling at you earlier, man. It got a little heated over there.
Oh,
I know. You love it too. I'm kind of in the same way, but I do think that we agree on a lot of stuff. And I standing there in the middle there.
Well, let's put it this way: conservatives and libertarians have very, very a lot of things that we align on. That's unbelievable. I mean, and I say true conservatives. I'm not talking the far alt-right out there. I'm not talking the far left. I'm not talking the moderates in the middle. I was really disappointed to hear that the libertarians were thrown into the Democratic Party this year and couldn't vote on the Republican ticket.
That's always been the case. So this is I've been here.
No, the libertarians were able to vote. I had more than one person that complained that they were not able to vote this year and they had to change their party affiliation.
I'm registered with Alaska Independence Party. And I don't really.
Well, see, that gives you that means you can vote in either party.
They just gave me they gave me the Democrat one, and I feel like I want to vote in the Democrat. I didn't have much to vote for. There was John Wayne, Howie was running for Senate. I voted for him. He got second place. But other than that, I just basically a blank ballot for me, which L.D. Howard is my district, so I looked him up and when we left, my wife's and I, hey, who's you vote for? Okay, good. Because I looked him up, but truthfully, I'm a pretty principled guy, and in my opinion, voting is more an expression of your preference and your conscience and your beliefs than it is actually affecting the change. If you look at statistically, and Alaska's one of the. I mean, there's some tight races, so it's more true here than probably anywhere. It comes down to one vote. But hardly ever does it actually,
There was 14 races that I'm watching out there right now. Half of them have pretty much been decided. The other half are so far up in the air, waiting on those absentee ballots to come in through the door.
I'm glad to see incumbents getting knocked out. One thing I'd say, though, is I was just over there, and they were trying to, I guess he's running for mayor or something. But you got both sides yelling, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. It's like, guys, we all agree, all lives matter. And I wish conservatives more would not be so afraid to say Black Lives Matter. I know it's a Marxist organization, but they don't own the words. And it doesn't mean you can't, of course, Black Lives Matter. And it's almost something that,
Black Lives Matter, Yellow Lives Matter. It doesn't matter what race you come from, they all matter.
And they're not saying
whether
Black
they're
Lives
born yet
matter
or not born yet.
Because, for no reason. It's because there are cases of, racism going on, and I grew up in North Carolina. I knew some cops who they were retired, but they were racist, and it exists. And it's not all of them. It's not all of them, and
that's the thing. They're trying. The way they're painting it right now, every cop's a bad cop. Nobody's a good cop.
The media will paint it. They love us. They don't care what the facts are. They just love if there's a story, and if there's a video of someone getting choked. I don't watch them. I forget. I think you asked me. No, I didn't. I don't.
Well, it's like I waited to weigh in on George Floyd's incident until after all the body cam footage came out, and then I finally opened my mouth.
I don't weigh in on any of it because I wasn't. I'm not there. I don't know what the cops are thinking. So. And then truthfully, you don't know. It could have been that dude's worst day of his life if he made the worst decision in his life. And if he did,
the stupidest thing he could have done was dropping that fentanyl onto his tongue like he had done.
And then,
I mean, that.
I don't know what you do for a living, but technically I could kill somebody if I drop something heavy on them at a job. I'm work construction or if I'm driving somewhere, but I'm not put in a situation where I'm called into a violent situation that's already violent, and my tool belt's got a hammer and nails in it. It doesn't have a gun and a taser, so it's like, as a libertarian, my belief is, look, we gotta stop all of this. Quit relying on them so much because it's dangerous for them too. What do you expect a cop to do? Just get beat up? Like, that's not right.
I mean, if they really wanted to have a change, quit committing the crime to begin with.
Well, see, I agree with that, but there's some crimes that I just, and yeah, you should.
Well, when you go into a convenience store and you hold a gun to the person behind the register's head and you say, "Give me all your money," and then walk out the door and expect not to be shot.
Well,
because you're a criminal that has more rights than the person that is.
I forget I forget the gentleman's name, but it was in Ferguson, and it was a couple years ago. The Ferguson riots, sparked up, and that was a situation. The guy
Ferguson, isn't that the one with the hands up?
Ferguson's the one that the guy stole the cigars.
Yeah. But
okay.
He did exactly what you said. He went into a convenience store. He roughed up the cashier, and stole cigars, or I don't know what he stole, and he left. So, honestly, it would have been a perfect resolution for that. Not perfect. I wish it never happened. Again, it would be perfect. But if that convenience store owner or guy behind the counter pulled out a gun, bam, shot him dead, boom. Anyone's seen that video and they said, yeah, he had it coming. There will be no protests, no riots. But as soon as he leaves the scene and then a cop comes around and do it, it becomes a lot more muddy. So I don't put it on the cop for doing that because he was responding to what he heard, right? And it's his job. But why didn't that convenience store owner, his safety is his responsibility. It's not some faraway cop's responsibility. If you're going to put
his responsibility got taken away from him. If he was to have pulled out a gun while he was being strong-armed there inside of the place, depending on the laws that are within that state, that convenience store clerk could have been the one sitting behind bars, even though he was protecting himself and his right to life.
We got to push jury nullification too, and the same thing with the drug war. If you ever put on a jury, know that you have a right as a juror, even if the person is guilty of the law they committed. Like if it's on the books, if I was on the jury for Andy Kreiner, should he go to jail for opening up his restaurant like he's done for how many years, and then Berkowitz decided that it shouldn't be allowed? If I was on that jury, I'd vote not guilty, even though he is guilty of breaking the mandate. It's an unjust law, so we gotta.
It was unconstitutional there.
It was unconstitutional, and as a juror, you have a right. So if it was a convenience store guy who had an illegal firearm, or stood his ground, but the statute said differently, I would vote not guilty. If it was someone who got caught with possession of a little bit of pot, which I could definitely have in my pocket, which up here not a big deal, but down in North Carolina could get me in trouble where I'm from, I would vote not guilty because I know I'm just as guilty.
So, let me ask you something, okay? What was your name, by the way?
Cole.
Cole, I'm Dustin Sherman. Nice to meet you.
Dustin, nice to meet you too. I think I've seen you at the last one too.
You've probably seen me at every one of them. So I've been doing this kind of stuff for 5 years. I get to California. So have you ever heard of the Battle of Berkeley?
We were talking about this last time. The guys were last time cleaning up. I think I asked you if there were you were handing out water bottles, weren't you? Yep. So I gave you a couple more, and that was the only trash we found, which I'll be sure I bet,
We'll still pick up. If they leave trash, we'll still pick up.
Yeah.
It's just who we are. So, hold on, let me ask you, what, I didn't get to hear your side of things over there. I was talking to another guy, and I was trying to be as peaceful as I could be to everybody. So, back in 2017, kids that age, we beat the crap out of the streets. Not because of what they believed in, but because of what another group was basically talking them to do. And so, I told the young guy tonight that today, listen, Black Lives Matter had 90% of the country. Literally, the country was on their side for 12 hours. As soon as the stuff started happening in the cities and riots started getting torched and everything else, that's whenever they lost most of the public support.
Oh, absolutely.
So they had an in with George Floyd, and it got kind of stupid. But my question to you is, what side of law enforcement were you on?
I honestly,
do you believe in law enforcement, or you think a person should handle the stuff themselves?
I think people can handle it themselves.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, do you got a girlfriend?
No, I'm married.
Okay. Oh, congrats. No, it's okay. So let me ask you this. What happens if you're at work one day somebody comes in and murders or rapes your wife, and you don't know who it is, who are you gonna call?
Well, basically, I call police.
Okay, so you agree that they're there for a reason, right?
Right, I agree.
Okay, so that's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest arguments that these guys can't answer. I've never been able to get them to answer that question. Well, I'll take care of it myself. Okay, well, how are you going to find out who it was? Do you know forensics? Do you know this? Do you know that? Do you know the other? And they want to defund the cops, right?
So, and that's honestly, as a libertarian, see, because
I'm a libertarian too, by the way, just so you know.
And she's running on a ball from the ATF, right?
I agree with that, but
so
let me ask you this: how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay, so you know that everything she's running on, and I'm not saying that she's a bad candidate. I think she should have her time on the stage. But I'm going to tell you right now, everything that she's running on, I've checked it out. I've checked out every libertarian candidate since back when Ross Perot was running. A long time ago, probably before you were alive. Or close to it.
I was born in 91, so
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember that
it
one.
might have been about that time.
Yeah, he ran in 92.
So here's the thing, okay? So I've checked out every candidate. Everything that she's running on has to be passed through Congress. She can't executive order everything out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it you can, but most of the stuff that she wants to do, and trust me, I've listened to her videos, I've researched every candidate. Biden, I can't even stomach. Or I can listen to. Okay, Trump, I can listen to, and I've already seen stuff he's done for me and my family, actually. But the only guy that's a libertarian that I think had any kind of steam was Ron Paul.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I missed that by a little bit.
And his son is not bad either, Rand.
Yeah, and I got some Rand stickers on my old truck. I supported him. He came up here. I went and seen him when he came up here. She's coming to Wasilla in a couple weeks to Dita Park. So if you want to talk to her. But I get that. And I was just telling him, for me, I don't, with this race especially, I don't see Trump losing Alaska.
I don't think he'll lose in country. I think there's going to be some states flip.
And
there are going to be quite a few states being flipped this year.
I feel the same way, but I wanted to give him a shot to hell in 2016, so I'm kind of holding my tongue there. Like, I really got that.
I don't think anyone at first
believed it.
Well, I didn't think anyone. Let's put it this way: I worked in California, and the place I was working at was super liberal. I mean, way liberal. I'm working in the back and working in a machine room, so I'm watching the shit on my phone. Everything's good. I go up front, and everybody that I work with is depressed as hell because he's kicking the shit out of Hillary. And I'm walking around, and we have a bar in the business I work for, right? I'm walking around, and I go in the bar, and it's empty. And it's like a night that's usually never empty. And it's because everyone was like so shocked it was happening, they didn't know how to handle themselves. Well, that was at a place called Roanoke Park, California. An hour after he announced they won, we had fire sparks start popping up because people were upset, right? I'm like, really? It's just the way it is. We have to find a way, and whoever it is that wins has to find a way to unite the country where we got to lead it through intelligence, which is kind of tough in some instances with Trump. But
if you can get past his rhetoric, that's.
If he just shut his mouth for a little bit,
honestly, that's what I like.
If he just kept doing his policies and making them happen and shut the hell up.
Here's the thing, though, and people don't get this, and I'll vouch for him on this. He's a showman. End of story. He's a showman. He's not the same on camera as that he is in person. Ask the people that he's helped in the past. Herschel Walker. Okay?
Yeah, I heard some of his.
Perfect example. Herschel Walker was actually depressed when him and Trump became friends. Trump got him out of that. Okay, he's taken in black people that have had what's her name? She's a singer. Her dad or one of her family members got killed. He put it up in the hotel. Somebody he didn't know. He just said, "Hey, you know what? I know you're having a tough time." She was there for 3 years. That's who the guy is. Whenever somebody couldn't finish a skating rink, an ice skating rink in New York, he stepped in and he got it done in 6 months. They projected 3 years.
And at a quarter of the cost, too.
So the thing is everybody's got stories in their closet. Trump is bad about it. But you know what? He's getting shit done. There's stuff that you can't deny that he's gotten done. Biden can't tie his own shoes.
Yeah, I am really...
Oh, brother, we're taking...
I mean, honestly...
All right.
I honestly,
Howdy, howdy.
Good to see you.
You too.
Well, I don't think
busy
it's
tonight.
It keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah. It's a great gathering. I just showed up 30 minutes.
Oh, did you get to see all the excitement going on at the front of the building?
Over there. I guess it's calmed down a lot now. I hear.
But most of the Black Lives Matter group, I just watched them roll out in their vehicles. They've left.
Here's one thing.
They were giving us the middle finger, and we were all waving. Hey, we love you too. You're number one in our book.
Did you get my message the other day? Just out of curiosity.
To get by that part
Yeah.
for you? Stock it. Yeah. Yes, we're going to combine it with another button order.
Okay.
You could have done it already, but Dave forgot. Didn't do it. So, but it'll get done. So you're not in a hurry.
No, that's just rebuilding my inventory back up.
Tim took the note. How many did you want?
Three, four. Yeah. It's just nothing more than to redo my stock. I got one place out there that keeps breaking it. I keep telling them quit pulling on it so hard. They keep doing it anyways. It's the third one I've replaced in about 6 months now. But,
Job security.
I was really sad to hear I lost one of my customers though. They made the news. Perfect Cup. They went out of business, 22 years in business, and they put out a Facebook post yesterday letting everybody know they're officially closed. They're bankrupt. The PPE money that they got does absolutely nothing to help them because they're in the middle of the store. The mayor in his lockdown that he has right now, people can't get into where their business is. They have no outdoor dining. They've been shut down ever since it's all started, and Diamond Center came in and padlocked all of their doors. They've had some people already break in and steal a lot of their merchandise out of the building.
But here's the thing. This is what I hate about the independent party.
Okay. Because I didn't want to say anything else.
Get your stuff. We'll be in touch.
All right. How's it going?
I would have voted for Dustin if he'd have been on the red ballot.
Yeah.
Honestly, would have.
And, you know, that's one of the reasons I didn't vote for Johnson. I wrote in again. I wrote in Darryl W. Perry.
I know who he was.
Yeah, who was never had a chance. He said if he wanted one of the four in the office, he was that libertarian.
Let me tell you something about Gary Johnson. So the night that I watched the Libertarian Convention, and the night that they selected him, one of the guys that he beat out gave him a relic pistol.
Because biggest I had today was
because I'm following you as a politic unfiltered, right?
This is like a cherished item.
But Facebook creamed you on, or they
I'll know here in a day or so because I'll hit my 7-day limit of changing my name. They want me to put my legal name down there, and so that the whole world can see who I am. And I refuse to do that. And I said it.
Even as a business,
they can set up a page, and a page doesn't give you the same unrestricted access to all of your friends.
Then there was the whole
So there's a lot of stuff that Politic Unfiltered is showing me that my own personal page will not. And so that's where I started it up so that I could actually start to reach more people. And but they want to basically dox me. And I refuse to allow that to happen. I'm hoping they let me leave it up there. I put the case up there as my argument. And it's the last comment that I've made on that page was whether or not I'm going to still be around.
They really chat my behind. Well, I was part of that purge last Wednesday.
Okay.
So my name, my real name, actual name is gone along with Dustin's name and all that. The funny part was,
so they're saying that, and he
I had stopped getting.
Well, see, as Politic, my actual page, Politic,
right.
I'm already certified as a business. I'm working through the journalist process of becoming a journalist on Facebook.
Okay.
And here real soon, I'm also hoping to be able to start doing boosting a post of political
Trump supporters like Trump.
things that are going on. But living in an area where P.O. boxes, they want a physical address.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I have a P.O. box because it's unsafe.
But I actually own a physical address.
Yeah.
But I gained it in my divorce.
Yeah.
And but I never got to find out where the box is.
No, yeah. In a few years, watch for Nikki Haley.
So I got a couple more weeks, I'm thinking, and they'll have that all ironed out to where I'll actually be literally legitimate all the way around. I can start running political ads on there. I can start talking to issues. They sent me a message yesterday about turning myself into an actual media journalist page, but it requires me to go through a couple hurdles because I've got to become certified by Facebook as being legitimately media. Just owning a business license and everything else. They want to see published articles in the journal and all that other stuff before they'll consider you a legitimate news.
She's awesome. She needs to go to the
So it's amazing what they try to do to keep the media from knowing what's going on. Unless you're affiliated with somebody big. But that's slowly changing that all the way around.
Yeah. I mean,
see you next time. But that's enough.
If you notice, 90% of the candidates that win are anti-war. They're all anti-war, but notice where they're from. Most of them, right? You hardly ever hear anybody from the West Coast. Reagan, yes. Maybe one or two others. But most of them are from the East Coast, like Pennsylvania, New York, or places like that. That's where most of your candidates are coming from. So Hawaii,
they come over to the West Coast for Bohemian Grove, though, don't they?
Dude, I lived like 20 minutes from there. I know all about Bohemian Grove.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to go slide up front. It looks like I'm about ready to wrap things up here myself.
Hey, good debate, man.
It's great talking to you, too.
Leaving analysts screaming behind him and saying weird things.
I'm going to go up front and see if there's anybody else left here. Don't forget to share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't share. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation that was going on in front of me. I've had a lot of different good conversations off to the side today. A lot of people that did not want to go on screen. I had even more good conversations with the anti group that had showed up again today. Anything that has to do with Back the Blue. The Black Lives Matter Antifa group shows up from here in Alaska. You ask them any of the seriously hard questions, and they can't give you a legitimate, honest answer to what those are. Like, who is Legend, and why does his life matter? But to them, that's the exact opposite. It looks like everybody is pretty much bailed on out of here. I'm just going for one last quick look up front. Everybody showed up today. This was a Back the Blue rally. This was also about the ordinances that the mayor and the assembly are trying to pass. That's going to hamstring our police department, make it so that their jobs are even more dangerous than what it already is, possibly cost them their lives. And ultimately, in the end, it will end up costing a few of our good men and women in blue's lives if those ordinances are passed. They have another ordinance that they're trying to pass that if you don't think your child is a potato and you try to get help for your child for their potato issue, they can come in and take your child away from you. Your neighbor can turn you in. Your teacher can turn you in. Oh, I guess there's still a few more people out here than I thought.
No.
The only ones out here that survived is the anti people. A couple mayoral races that were out here. Robbins for mayor. Exactly.
We had about 200 of us and about 50 of them today.
We're arguing about
I have been run into more often than I care to admit today. These little folks right here, the most precious, important parts of our lives, and the mayor and assembly are trying to do everything that they possibly can inside of that assembly chambers right now to take our legal rights as parents away from us. Make it so that we no longer have a say in our upbringing of our children. If our child wants to say they're a potato and us as a parent don't agree that they are not a potato and want to go and seek to get them help for their potato issue, the mayor wants it so that they can come in and arrest you and take your children and have OCS come into your house and take your children away from you just because you don't believe they're a potato. Proud supporters over there holding up for our Second Amendment rights.
Yeah. Facebook? Cool.
The entire time,
Right
yes. I keep going until either my phone dies or I run out of steam, whichever comes sooner. Big guy over there, that's Robin. Mike Robbins running for mayor. Made his announcement at the last Thin Blue Line Blue Lives Matters rally that was last week. You got your handful of delusional people still sitting here. I'm the anti-crowd. Big group of the small-minded people are sitting there huddled around the even larger group that are here for Robbins for mayor and backing up the Thin Blue Line and are standing in support and solidarity against the new ordinances that will allow OCS to come and take your children away.
Sometimes.
Every person that you see there in wearing a mask happens to be the ones that are in support of are here with the Black Lives Matter group. Earlier in the day, I've already had my run-in with just about everybody that is there in that group.
Because, like, for example, Moses, not everyone's like, there's a book, so I believe to go. It was written, just like, we were the
How you doing?
So,
Yes, they locked us out. This should be an open assembly meeting right now, to where us as the public should be allowed to be able to go in there and give testimony. The mayor, with his emergency powers, has declared that he's the ultimate supreme being that dictates what's going to happen to all of us, and we're not allowed legally. That's not how we're legally supposed to do stuff in the United States. You're not. It feels like it, doesn't it, that we're not in the United States.
It was like, we got stuck in some.
Exactly. Agreed. But they are a domestic enemy and should be treated as such. I mean, I'm hoping that one day that we can get ourselves a sheriff here in town. If it sounds funny, but they have more legal rights. They could be right now arresting the mayor and the assembly for illegally locking the constituents of Anchorage out of the meetings. I mean, they're making decisions that's going to put our men and women in blue in danger right now. Take away our children just because you don't believe they're a potato. I mean, that's my reference of how I describe what they're trying to pass there. What the Constitution says, they're supposed to be here working for us, not us working for them. We are.
Yeah, I agree. So, why are we standing out here? We're not going to, what's the purpose of us standing here? We want we can't speak, we just got to stand out here.
We're exercising our First Amendment right to be able to protest the tyranny that's on full display. Yes.
Unlike Black Lives Matter.
And making sure that the assembly and them all understand that, that our rights are our rights. They just can't take them away from us. Yep. Yes, I am. I'm live streaming. I come to these events to it's on Facebook. I'm sorry. This is a public area, so I just walk around all day long. And honestly, you have a backer right here. My audience loves you, and because you're an honest person that's missing in the crowd. Some of these people just don't understand what it means to live in America and the rights that we have, and that we've been given under our Constitution, and the freedoms that have been taken away from us. And so, yeah, no, I apologize. I mean, I'll spin away here real quick, but yeah, no, I really do appreciate you being there and being here.
Like my camera. What kind of camera is that?
It is just a cell phone.
Oh, that's your cell phone?
It is just a cell phone.
Oh, okay, because I'm like seeing these three lenses right there, and what is that? Is that on the phone?
It is. It's 3 different lenses. 2 of them is for one's for up close, one's for very far away, and the other one's a light detector. So if you get into really low light settings, it'll actually brighten things up for you so that you can see them, or if it's too bright, bring them back down again.
I just carry one of those little trap phones like that.
Okay.
It ain't got all those fancy.
That's what I call a Gibbs phone.
No, what did you say again?
Gibbs phone from NCIS. Huh? That was a reference to NCIS Gibbs. Yes.
I don't watch much TV anymore because I can't stand it. I watch the old stuff like Andy Griffith and the Billy Griffith and things that was written into my childhood. This new stuff.
I feel the same way. The most newest thing that I watched was Quantico here recently. Thanks to being locked down, it's about the FBI and the CIA and going through their training. But a lot of what you see going on right now, I was amazed at how closely that show kind of targeted what we're seeing in our country. Especially when you look towards what's going on with President Trump, and then you got Hillary Clinton and all the deception behind there. And
I voted for a husband twice. I got a light bill back in the day. He was a likable person. Because I didn't understand really what we know now about politics. I didn't know how ugly and deviant it really was back in the late 80s, early 90s.
I was completely ignorant to politics up until Trump came down the escalator. And my audience knows this, but I'll let you guys know. I said this is going to be the best reality TV show that Hollywood didn't put on. I got to start paying attention. I'm Bert, or I'm also online. I'm known as Politidic.
Not voice-wise, but philosophy-wise. I just started listening to Warren's Neighbors.
Okay.
Okay, and I think it is. He is so with giving history regarding our Constitution. Oh man, I'm like, why couldn't I have had him as a teacher? He's probably about my age, but he knows.
No, thank you. I ate up front with the hot dogs and hamburgers they had going on up there. So did you get here earlier enough to meet the two different candidates running for mayor? And you got Robbins, who's still here, and then you've got they are. They're the two most conservative that I'm aware of that's currently running for mayor. I've heard a couple of other names that are being thrown out there right now that are talking about stepping in, but I don't know if they will or not to try to keep from muddying the waters. But the alternative is having like Forrest Dunbar, who's on the assembly right now. He's who the mayor has been grooming to take his position. And if you think Berkowitz's policies are bad, if he becomes mayor, Bernadette's been mentioned.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I called Caro and said Bernadette is not running.
Oh, bad word.
Because Bernadette is endorsing Bronson.
That's what he's my son with no tank. That's what my
oh, you got my favorite drink there. I'll take one of those.
For 47 years. He's been in office longer than I've been alive.
You know what? They say that when in that copper coat, she got that bad word against the police. But you know what? It would be the first thing she called if she ever needed it.
Yep.
You know?
I've got the perfect questions for them. Do you got a boyfriend? Do you got a girlfriend? Do you have a wife, or do you have a husband, depending on who they are in front of me? What are you going to do if you're at work and they get killed? Are you going to go and you don't know who the killer is? Or who's going to be the first person you call? Are you going to call your posse and say, hey, come do all the forensic science and try to figure out who this killer is? Are you going to go with vigilante out on the streets? Or are you going to call the police and hopefully they can do their job?
According to our Constitution,
They do.
Listen, the poor guys don't even like that sketchy. Remember, I just don't think that. I think what I'm saying is, I think we can come up with a good balance. Okay?
Well, thank you.
But also, honestly, like,
God bless. I believe.
yeah, that's
They shouldn't be allowed to get away with it.
So what the bill? Are you familiar with the bill at all? Okay, so is this related to?
I've been in the middle of them more than once today. You ask them the hard questions, like who is legend, and they give you this blank look. Ask them if they've watched the whole video of what happened with George Floyd. They give you a blank look.
Free speech and parental rights. So that the parents would be able to tell now, I can do what I want to but absolutely the kids should be able to decide. All the what you're saying should be able
So will they be born non-binary? Will they be born without a gender?
Well, I don't know. I just know that the parents won't be able to tell the kids if they're a boy or girl. They won't be able to tell.
A lot of children. I actually she did. I had no idea.
These folks standing right in front of me right there, this is one of the reasons why many of us are out here today. They are trying to pass an ordinance right now that says if your child thinks they're a potato and you try to get them some help to convince them that they're no longer, that they are not a potato, or even just say those things that you're not a potato, your neighbor can send the police in, the OCS, to your doorstep and have your children taken away from you. If your child goes up to a teacher and says, I'm a potato and my parents don't think I'm a potato, the teachers can have OCS come and show up on your doorstep and take your child away from you. That's the kind of ordinance that they're trying to pass right now.
Your blood type was the same as mine, and I have the blood type. Yeah, I wouldn't care what color you were. Hey, I just want to live. If your blood can help me to live, it just matters. All lives matter. We cannot, I'm telling you, the world we be is, we're all human. We're not from different trees. We're all from the planet Earth. We can escape this thing. The only way we can escape is through death. None of us want to die. We want to live. So, Carl, you know what I'm saying? I see.
Okay. Who flipped you off?
What happened to George Floyd happened to me in 1980. Okay, it wasn't that, it was a shooting. I was only 16. Guess what? I don't hate them. I just like the two that did it. But as a whole, I never went after them and wanted to do what I see going on. I mean, I have every right to be angry. But you know what? I prayed to God about it. Because I'm going to tell you something. Vengeance is his. And like me, I don't know how to carry out vengeance right. Because I would have just angry, just wanted to get them. Just wanted to get them for what they did to me. But you know what I did instead? I left them at state. I've been gone for 40 years. I wouldn't go back to school. But I forget. And I would never say that. Because I'm going to tell you something. There are such good officers out there that in the time of
in fact, 90% of them are good.
Yeah, we got those that are put in there to make all the rest of them look bad. We
then we can get rid of them.
We can't let that be. You cannot. I don't want to live in chaos. I don't want to live in fear. I want to live wanting that somebody's going to come on down my head because they don't like my color or they don't like my political point. See, that's the beautiful thing about the United States. You can have your own point of view without fear of being damaged. So to say that, you know, we need order in our country. Well, guess who put the racist system here? The Democrats. The Democrats. The Democrats. The Democrats installed, they only follow orders from what's passed down to them from the mayor to the chief of police, and he gets orders from the mayor who gets his orders to go. You're talking about the Democrats. The political system is set up, the police system, most of these states that you see all this happening in are Democrats. States, they really are. Are you talking about before or after? I'm talking about since
The party's never switched. Yeah, that is another myth.
Nice talking to you. I'm gonna go.
All right.
When you defeat them in the realm of ideas, they merely walk away, madam.
Amen.
Is there anything else you wanted to say today?
Well, they don't walk away. They're the ones that need to talking to.
They are.
Thank you to hear that. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
And by the way, just so that everybody know, soon live music will be back on the air. It's just a matter of when we count. Seriously? Yes. They're talking about relaunching it.
I had to do what I did. I didn't have a sign, but I had my mouth. And you see, I was, you know, cordial, civil, and I explained to them.
You did.
You know, you can't be acting like this in the United States. And they fell. Did you record it?
I tried to, other than the sound wasn't because I was on the back side of you. Everybody was telling me, get in front so we could hear what's going on. And so, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you're an educated lady that is telling it like it is. And
I'm 7 classes from having my bachelor's in psychology.
And to listen to what they had to say when I couldn't keep my mouth shut when they said, well, when the party switched back in the 60s, it's like, I am so sick of that lie. It's not true. The only thing that happened back in the 60s was the Conservative Party said, we know where the welfare system is taking our country and we don't want to support that anymore. After 30 years of living under Johnson and then other Democrats that were passing the policies that kept making those things grow larger and larger. And now look at us, $27 trillion in debt. And so I fear what my child's going to be living underneath here real soon.
I know, right?
And what their children are going to live underneath. I mean...
So where are we going to be seeing all this stuff that people are recording? Because I am not on Facebook.
Yeah, it's once I get a chance, I post this up onto YouTube, but it is on Facebook right now is where I'm live streaming to at the moment. And a lot of the folks that I know that are doing live streams right now, that's where they are live streaming to at the moment too, is on Facebook. And
so I'm going to be seen talking, huh?
You will be, yes. Some of them, like that gentleman there, his is more of just a record now, post later type thing.
The one in the hat?
Yes.
So
I think I'm going to follow suit with a lot of these folks. I'm soaking wet now. I've been out here since it started.
I brought my umbrella. I knew it was pouring for the last couple of days. So how did you record any of that?
Yeah.
So how could I see any of that?
I'll be probably posting it through one of my friends. I'm not online at all. What's your name?
My name is Wanda.
Wanda. I'm Niall Williams. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming out today. You're her son? Thank you for coming out and supporting your mother. That's good. Oh, fantastic.
Just to let you know, a lot, there are different levels of
I know I did a report on it back, that would have had to be 2010.
Well, if you're all just tuning in, please don't forget to like and share. We have a very nice lady here that just came up, and she was educating the Black Lives Matters group about our civil liberties and laws and the what real racism looks like. She is old enough to actually been around when racism was a real thing on a consistent daily basis compared to the way it is at the moment in time, where everybody is pretty much equal, and the only people out there in this world that are racist is the very far and few in between when it actually goes to how society is run today. The only real racist, and she was starting to point it out, and that's when the Black Lives Matter decided to go and hightail it out of here, was she was pointing out how the Democratic Party was racist. And then the Black Lives Matters people out there says, oh, like they used to be before the parties switched. You know, when they were KKK and all the ones, the Confederate statues that they keep trying to tear down, and the portraits that Nancy Pelosi had removed to the House speakers because they show how racist their party really is. And then when she started to point out, no, I'm talking about current times right now. Look at what's going on in all of these Democrat cities and all the violence and rioting and looting, and allowing them to get that to go on and happen. And instead of throwing out challenges back out to her, they wanted to throw out the old Southern switch back in the 60s. Anybody that has done their research and understands what the Southern switch really was all about, it was the Republican, the Conservative Party had backed away from the liberal left's agenda of socialism and give everything to free and the welfare states that were going on out there, and started looking at more conservative, capitalistic type ideals that our country was founded and built on, where everybody has a free chance to be able to expand and grow within our country. Yes, I have seen that. The Democrats seem to be trying to normalize pedophilia. I think this has a lot to do with what's going on in the court system right now with what's his name, Epstein, and that is being uncovered there. And they're trying to normalize it as quickly as possible. That way, when they start going up on charges, they can start getting the sympathetic people out there saying, oh, well, pedophilia isn't that bad of a thing after all.
I'm with President Trump.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You know that. No, he's going to get elected by. If anybody can remember 1984.
There was a little over 200 people that was here earlier today. They started out with about 25 Black Lives Matters. Their group grew to about 50 people. They're back down to around the original 25 that was here. I'm proud of these two people here. They have been here pretty much the whole time that I've been here, standing up for our Second Amendment rights. And that's always well appreciated, and it is definitely well stood by here in Alaska. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to call myself a day here. I hope you all appreciated the live feed that we got going on. I am thoroughly soaked all the way to the bone, and appreciate you all hanging out this long. Don't forget to share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't share. And if you get a chance, and when they get my website back up and running, it got crashed here over the weekend, go to politidic.com. That's politidick.com. Click that donate button. I need to buy an umbrella, dang it. It's been one wet day out here, and an umbrella would have been really nice to have had to been when I showed up here. I discovered too late. I was already pulling into the parking lot. My child had taken the umbrella out of the truck, and it was no longer there. And so I've had myself a very wet afternoon here, or evening, and hopefully my equipment stays up and running out after this. My phone and my microphone have been thoroughly soaked and drenched. Again, don't forget to like and share. Facebook squeals on you if you don't. And you guys all have yourself a great evening, and I appreciate your time today.